I keep a trying and a trying. I can't make it on time. Yeah, and I was up, folks, man. I was out and about the premises, taking care of business, listening to some. It was a Noam Chomsky, broadcast thing, and I was like, let me just take a little bit of extra time because this is a really, really up to date interview with Noam Chomsky with some very brilliant leadership of a school. But man, the leadership, man, they talked the whole time, and I had to I had to leave the computer before I even got to. I saw Chomsky sitting there waiting to talk, but I didn't get to listen to it talk. So I think the talk though, and I'm gonna go back and try to watch it. I should. It's Israel and Palestine possible futures, which if you watch much of, I mean, as much of bad stuff that Chomsky taught about human rights and stuff that we learn about through people like him getting the message across. No, I don't want to go there, man. We just can just back off of that. I wish I could just get this Macarena going. Let's see. Um, if you listen to a lot of Chomsky talk, as much of the bad stuff as he deals with, he always has a positive outlook. He's like, if we do this and so and this and so, these are things that we can do to make things better. And I was like, man, this guy's really got it together. It weighs on me looking at what's going on in the world. The incarceration situation, the corporation amalgamation, man, it's not fair. And also, it's not fair. Macarena is not starting, but I don't know. Maybe it's starting. It's just hanging up. Welcome to the Macarena thing show. Let me see. I'm gonna go over here see if I can get some kind of work done. I had been working on this layout here and thinking what I was going to put on it. Oh, I got to restart on Macarena. Thank goodness. Well, while I'm here, I might as well add me a something to this layout. My camera, for example. Yeah, there we go. Starting to get more like it. Well, let me get back over here. 13 to 17. Space battles. Clean. Now, here comes the part where I check my microphone to see if it's turned on. Thank goodness. Pardon me, I have a cantaloupe and pineapple smoothie. Very sweet and delicious. Man, I don't want to click through all this stuff. I want to. How many brackets have I gone down up in here? Have I been demotified and castigationalized? Ooh, I don't even want to read that, man. It's like the Bible, the whole Bible right there on one page. It's that much of deterrence. Final bracket. Way on down. Way. Ooh, Sundowner. I've never even seen this guy. Never have. But at least I didn't sink off the edge of the world. A guy was watching me though, and he actually said something complimentary that it was said in a way that I was like, man, this guy is not flattering me. He's like really trying to convey. So I don't feel totally like I can't play this game after almost a year trying to learn how to play it. Ooh, it's Walking Dead. Let me just get up in here and make a name 2 vs 2. Oh. Dum, 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 dum. Have you had your Twinkie this morning? Let's see. Ding dong, ding dong. 2 vs 2. No, let's see. Ooh. 7,000 squad power. This guy. Oh. Oh no, she in a battle. How come it changed up like this? It says she in a hangar and it says she in a battle. And which is it? Oh, you know what? I'm going up in here anyway. I don't care. These people. No, it's probably some kind of lag thing. That's why maybe I dropped off. She'll come back, hopefully. They put some. That's part of a clan of Macarena players from France. They coordinate their attack squads like a live Discord group server call, man. And then you go in there on a squad with them guys, man. Ooh, it's something. Ooh. What is that, a Paragon? A Lancer? Oh. You dang turkified turkey. Wait a minute. You just bought this thing. You don't know how to work it yet. What you doing? What a trip. What the hell was that? Oh. Ooh, spawn point. I'm way up further up in here. I don't need to be so far up in here. I'm running. Running, buddy. Running. Oh, it's Captain Pugboy. Please help me. Don't kill me. I'd do anything. Lord. That's good. 5-1. I like that. And I'm almost healed. Where are they? Okay. Oh, dang. Don't you put that freeze ray crap on me. Oh. These guys just bought these robots. They're not playing them very well. That's a bot. It's not Pugwash. Isn't Pugwash some kind of peace movement thing? I know you got that goes around the corner and stuff. I hate that. One second, buddy. With your dang disc launcher. I'm running. You just try to hit me. I'm gonna get away. Get away. Where's my... Oh, there's Orga Energy. Orga Energy is a bot. And he's got a Lancer. Oh! No. Please help. I need some backup around here. What is in the world? You dirty, rotten scoundrel. I'm gonna get you now. You just wait. How you feel about this freak, this racist thing right now? Oh, it's a trick. Come on with you, dang hula dance. Come here and shoot him from behind, would you? Ooh. I don't even know what he was doing. He forgot how to click the mouse, or maybe his battery went dead on this wireless mouse. Oh, you got some lag there, buddy? With your dang freeze bozo thing. Yeah, that's Bozo the Clown. That's what those things look like to me. Yeah. And I don't mean like that Panther skin. It's like, I don't like the design of that. It looks like a slack ass made it. Are you kidding me? I ain't paying attention. Let me see. I'm in a total attention deficit. Where is you even is? What is this he's got? An Aerie. Okay. Man, you 5-pound fool. Man, god daggone. Ouch. I'm getting ready to come up there. Yes, I sure ain't. Oh, ooh, now you killed my friend. That's the... Oh, let's see if he goes over here. Oh. No. That's a low, dirty, rotten scoundrel. Oh. Uh-oh. They beat us. I love your fence, man. It's great. I would call the county though if you did that in my yard. Put a fence down some crazy way. Better not be permanent. Hey, Stasis Baby. You better hope you got some power. You better hope you got it. Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Oh, no, he's still alive. Oh, please don't kill me. Oh, please. Oh, help. Dang, just when I get ready to blow you away. No. Okay. Well.
This sub-province. There are approximately 100 square miles of irrigated rice terraces that are watered by great ditches several miles long. The terraces are all buttressed with stone walls which measure a total length of about 12,000 miles. These terraces have been built without any knowledge of engineering. It is believed that the construction of the present terraces and irrigation systems has taken from 1,200 to 1,500 years of time. Generation after generation had toiled on them patiently. The Ethiopians had so utilized every drop of available water supply that in most places no more ditches can be constructed for lack of water. The terraces are built of stones mined nearby, of which there are extensive areas. No animals are used for field work, everything being done by hand. Salt springs and deposits of rock salts are also found in several places. The sub-province of Lepinto is next to Efugo in the number of rice terraces. Camels, pineapples, sugar cane, and cotton are also raised. Lepinto and Benguet are the regions having the most minerals in Luzon. All the mountain ranges have millions of pesos worth of copper ore deposits. Manghain is the center of the copper mining industry. Here the Spaniards found the natives using the Chinese method of mine smelting. Gold mining and industries. Siok is the gold mining center. Here is found one of the most striking features of the world. The whole side of a range of mountains, about 15 kilometers across, slides down to the valley, and on this slide, named the Paladin Slide, I found parts of gold veins which must have their connection somewhere else. The household industries are well developed. Clay products, such as pots, jars, and pipes are made for export. The men are experts in metalworking. They make weapons, pots, and spoons out of copper which they mine and smelt by native process. They also manufacture iron or steel spears, bolos, knives, and tools of all sorts, which they sell to or barter with the natives of the lowlands. They also carve wood into images, bowls, ornaments, and other utensils. The women make sufficient cloths for their own use and for sale. They spin, dye, and weave the cotton raised there. LA Union Province occupies a narrow strip of land immediately north of the province of Pangasinan and west of the Mountain Province. Tobacco, rice, sisal, hemp, sugar, coconuts, corn, and cotton form the most important products. At the foot of Mount Baybas is a hot salt spring. The Manila Railroad operates lines as far as Boang. San Fernando, the capital, may be reached either by boat or by automobile from Boang. Industries. Ilocos Sur Province, taught immediately north of La Union, is the province of Ilocos Sur, a region specially adapted to the cultivation of Maggi, the fiber of which constitutes the principal export. But because the soil will not support the population, the great many persons have turned to manufacture and trade. This has given rise to industrial specialization in different towns. Those along the coast extract salt from the seawater and export it in great quantities to inland provinces. In San Esteban, there is a quarry of stone from which mortars and grindstones are made. San Vicente, Vigan, and San Ildefonso specialize in woodworking, the first in carved wooden boxes and images and the others in household furniture. Most of the wood used in these handicrafts is imported from Abra and Cagayan. Bante is the home of skilled silversmiths. In the other towns, saddles, harness, slippers, mats, pottery, and hats are made and exported to some extent. Sisal and hemp fiber extraction and weaving of cotton cloth are common household industries throughout the province. The province embraces within its confines some of the oldest towns in the Philippines. Besides Vigan, several other towns already existed in this region before the close of the 16th century, namely Santa, Navakan, Bounty, Candon, and St. Just above Navakan, on the highway which runs along the beach, is an ancient watchtower in the stretch of road bordered by a curious brick retaining wall of Spanish construction. Numerous ancient shrines are also to be seen along the Ilocos roads, where the pious prayed that heavenly favor might be shown them in their journeys. The towns of Maoe and Bitak are noted for their magnificent churches, which are worth traveling a long distance to see. Historical. Two important uprisings are recorded in the history of Ilocos: the Milong Rebellion in 1660 and the Silang Rebellion in 1763. Milong, who was trying to carve out a kingdom for himself in Pangasinan and the neighboring territory, sent his two able generals, Count Vimipos and Jacinto Mekazet, to the north to effect the conquest of this region. Vimipos and Mekazet, however, proceeded only as far as Vigan, from which place they were recalled by Milong. Diego Silang, who led the Great Rebellion of 1762, dominated the greater part of Ilocos Sur. He fought pitched battles with the Spanish forces at Vigan and Tabucao and practically succeeded in establishing a government of his own in Ilocos Sur. Ilocos Norte province occupies the whole of the coastal plain in the northwestern corner of Luzon. This province is noted for the many revolts that occurred there, from the beginning of Spanish rule to the first decades of the 19th century. The two most important were those caused by the general discontent over the tobacco monopoly and over the wine monopoly, which occurred in 1788 and 1807 respectively. The mountains surrounding the province are covered with fine timber trees. Resin, honey, and wax are also found on their slopes. A few grottos or caves are found in the interior. There are a number of stone quarries. Limestone is found in at least 3 places, while the beach supplies a great amount of coral for road building. There are also deposits of manganese and asbestos which are being exploited. The weaving of textiles, towels, blankets, wearing apparel, and handkerchiefs is the principal industry among women. Mat making and the pottery industry are also well developed. Lug, the capital, has a population of about 40,000. It is entered from the south by crossing the longest bridge in the islands. Lug Plaza, on which the provincial buildings front, is well cared for, and the ancient bell tower on the opposite side is said to resemble a famous Italian campanile. Bongi is farthest north in Luzon, where the highway ends. Its climate is cool, resembling that of a California summer. Woolen clothes may be worn with comfort in the cold season. It is always swept by cool breezes. The view of sea and land from the crest of a hill just before Bongi is entered will hold the attention of even the most traveled tourist. Abra province is south of Ilocos Norte. It is a beautiful mountainous region. It is considered to be the seismic center of northern Luzon. It is drained by the voluminous Abra River, which is highway to the province of Ilocos Sur. The valley drained by this river and its tributaries is covered with luxuriant vegetation. Corn, tobacco, and rice are the most important products. The mountains are covered with forests containing timber eminently suitable for construction. There is gold dust along the Binongan River in the town of Latub. Of mineral springs, that of the Iron River is the most important. This has a temperature ranging from 70 degrees to 80 degrees Fahrenheit with a flow of 3 to 4 cubic centimeters per second. Cagayan River. The Cagayan Valley, adjoining the mountain province in the very northeastern corner of Luzon, is the province of Cagayan. Together with the neighboring provinces of Isabela and River Vizcaya to the south, it forms what is known as the Cagayan Valley. Something of these great tobacco provinces can be seen by taking the steamer from Manila to Apari and then sailing up the Cagayan River. This is a Mississippi, a Nile river, navigable by inland steamers for 25 miles. Its chief importance lies in its periodical inundations, which, leaving their deposits of a living loam along the strips of lowland by the banks of the stream, make it the finest tobacco country of this part of the world. This crop has for a very long time been the staple source of wealth, though other plants can be cultivated with success. How great is the productivity of the soil, despite the exhausting effect of tobacco upon it, may be gathered from the following remark made in an official report. The good land was understood to be those parts fertilized annually by the overflow of the river. The other land was not considered first class because it could only produce tobacco for 10 or 12 years without enrichment, the subject of fertilizing never having received any attention from the planters of that region. By small boats it is possible to reach Cagayan, Isabela. From Devereux it is so nearly computed that autos can be taken to Santa Fe, Nueva Vizcaya, where it divides, one branch, an automobile road leading to San Jose, Nueva Ecija, and thence to Manila, the other a horseback trail to San Nicolas, Pangasinan, a short and easy stage to the railroad. Among the sights is a salt-encrusted mountain, a dazzling landmark for miles around in Nueva Vizcaya. The people thereabouts often place small objects, such as baskets, under the drip of the salt springs. These become coated with salt in such a manner that they appear to be of pure marble. Isabela and Palanan. Like many other provinces, Isabela province was the scene of important uprisings. In 1763, for example, stirred by the influence of the Silang Rebellion in Ilocos, the people of Isabela revolted, led on by Bilbo and Juan Rea. The centers of rebellion were Ilagan and Cabucan. Again in 1785, another revolt broke out. This time the rebellion was led by Labuta and Taladon. The rebellion was caused by the grievances of the people against the collection of tribute and the enforcement of the tobacco monopoly. The historical spot of Isabela is the little town of Palanan on Palanan Bay, on the Pacific coast. The bay is exposed to the weather and the anchorage is reefed, while the town is separated from the rest of the province by great mountains which make communication and travel difficult and dangerous. It was in this town that General Emilio Aguinaldo retreated and maintained his headquarters until his capture by General Funston by Arroz in March 1901. Salinas Salt Springs. Nueva Vizcaya province is south of Cagayan on the Pacific coast of Luzon. It contains vast areas of fertile public land suitable for rice, tobacco, sugar, coconuts, beans, potatoes, coffee, and abaca, practically untouched, as well as virgin forests filled with all classes of valuable timber. The province is the gateway to and granary of the tobacco-producing provinces to the north. The climatic conditions of the province are unsurpassed. There are places the climate of which is similar to that of Baguio. There are also places of scenic beauty, such as Salinas, which are not inferior to world-famous objectives of tourist travel. The salt springs at Salinas have been from time immemorial the source of this essential food element to the peoples of even distant regions. Mindoro province is named after the Spanish phrase mina de oro, or gold mine, as mining is said to have once been a great source of wealth in the region. The province is coextensive in territory with the island of Mindoro, southwest of Luzon. Rice, copra, abaca, sugar, and corn are the principal products. Along the coast are extensive nipa swamps. Mineral deposits. Gold is found in the rivers of Bainade, Baco, Bonrabon, and Magisol are too big. Coal of good quality is found north and west of Bulalakaon, white marbles northwest of Mount Halcyon, slate deposits near the headquarters of Philippine and other rivers of the western coast, sulfur and gypsum on Lake Norjun, and south of Philippine, hot springs between the sea and the northwestern part of Lake Norjun, and salt springs in Damagun, Bulalakaon. Guano deposits are found in the caves. Submarine Garden. An interesting two-day trip from Manila is that to the landlocked harbor of Puerto Galero at the northern end of the island. The attraction of the place lies in the fine scenery along the coast and in the unusual transparency of the water, which permits visitors, especially if glass-bottomed boats are at hand, to inspect the varied life which teems in the depths below. There is here, as on the coast of Batangas, a marine garden of bewildering and exquisite beauty. Nature seems to have made special effort to crowd beneath a few acres of sea all of the most entrancing wonders of the deep. There is coral of every design, color, and variety. There are thousands of plants which present a wealthy and gorgeous harmony of color. There are myriads of wonderful fish which outrival the coral and the vegetation in variety and richness of hue. Some are as green as grass, others as gold as a guinea. There are at present no regular boats making the trip, and special arrangements will have to be made in order to be able to visit the place. Palawan. The province of Palawan occupies the long and narrow island of Palawan, situated between Mindoro on the north and Borneo on the south. Besides this long and narrow island, the province includes about 200 other small islets. A great part of the island is still unexplored, the island itself not being accessible to the traveler. The chief industries of the people are fishing, gathering tripans, seashells, and edible birds nest on the limestone cliffs near the shore. The proximity of the island with the Dutch East Indies and to Borneo puts it in a very advantageous position commercially. It is also favored by valleys of great fertility and by well-protected harbors. Iwa Ligpina Colony. Among the places of special interest in Palawan may be mentioned Balabac on the island of the same name. It was to this island that many of the Filipinos were exiled in 1896 because of alleged complicity in a Katipunan which in August of that year raised the standard of revolt. The Iwa Higpinal colony, about 8 miles from Port-au-Prince, the capital, is also easy of access. This is a novel experiment in the reformatory treatment of criminals. Here have been gathered under the name of colonists over 500 convicts who have conducted themselves well at Bulacan prison in Manila. They are put at entire liberty without any armed guard or any special restraint. All of the petty officers are prisoners, as are also all the police. Agriculture and various trades are carried on, and, under certain conditions, the prisoners are given an allotment of land and their families are allowed to join them. Culion Leper Colony. To the north of the province is the little island of Culion where the leper colony is situated. There is no regular transportation except by the government cutter that makes periodical trips, and the colony itself is not ordinarily open to visitors. There are about 2,000 inmates in the colony and they are well taken care of by the Philippine government, many having been cured completely of the unfortunate malady. In minor matters, the lepers form a self-governing community, electing their own council and supplying the policemen and other subordinate officials. Underground River. On the west coast of Palawan, almost uninhabited and still largely uncharted, there is a very remarkable underground river. This has been explored several times by government officials, a launch having in one instance entered the mouth and proceeded under the mountain for more than 2 miles. At present, the river can only be reached by taking a long and expensive trip away from the main routes of travel, but it is destined sometime to be known as one of the remarkable sights of the world. Romblon Province. The province of Romblon has nothing of special interest to the tourist except the town of Romblon, which has one of the best natural harbors in the islands and the extensive marble deposits which have been quarried and used for years and are now disappearing. The Visayas. The Visayas is the general name given to the central portion of the Philippine archipelago. It includes the large islands of Panay, Negros, Cebu, Bohol, Leyte, and Samar, and a very great number of smaller islands and islets. Though greatly broken up by mountains, these contain the most thickly populated districts in the islands and constitute by far the largest area inhabited by a single stock, the Visayan, and speaking, though with many dialect variations, one language. Within this area are the best sugar and some of the best hemp lands, and many other important products of the islands throw well. To the tourist, perhaps, they do not, outside of the cities of Cebu and Iloilo, abound in sights. But the larger islands exhibit many fine vistas, and the smaller ones, mostly mountainous, form with the surrounding tropical waters a combination which, for color and variety of outline, rivals the inland sea of Japan at its best. Samar Province comprises the whole island of Samar, which is the fourth largest island in the archipelago. It lies southeast of Luzon and is separated from the province of Sorsogon by the San Bernardino Strait. The island is very rugged and nearly all of the towns are located near the coast. Another characteristic feature of the mountain regions is the presence of caves, of which the most noted is the Sohoton Cave near Desi. River transportation is the chief means of communication. Where the Spaniards first landed. To Samar belongs the distinction of being the first island of the Philippine archipelago to be discovered by the Spaniards. On March 16, 1521, Ferdinand Magellan sighted the island, and the day following, landed on the little island of Homonhon. In 1649, the greatest part of the island of Samar became involved in a great rebellion which became the signal of general uprising in the Visayan Islands and in parts of Mindanao. The cause of the uprising was enforced labor in connection with shipbuilding. It lasted about a year. The rebels fortified themselves in the mountains and there established an independent settlement. From here they sallied forth from time to time and harassed the Spanish forces sent against them. Iloilo and Capiz. The provinces of Iloilo and Capiz occupy the entire eastern portion of the island of Panay, immediately south of Romblon Island. They consist of an extensive plain extending far back to the foot of a range of mountains that traverses the western part of the island. The Panay line of the Philippine Railway Company cuts directly through this plain, extending as far as Capiz, the capital of the province of the same name, immediately north of Iloilo Province. Attractions. The trip over the railroad takes the traveler past several points of interest. Just beyond Ventura there are seen to the west of the tract a series of high mountain cliffs of white coral rock. These are honeycombed by caves of wonderful structure and great beauty. One of the most beautiful resembles an immense stage, set with elaborate scenery. Another of great extent and variety is entered by descending through a shaft resembling a well. An hour's walk from the entrance leads the traveler to a place where the roof has collapsed and trees have grown to gigantic heights, the cave continuing to an unknown distance. The natural bridge of Suet in the town of Dumalag, Capiz, is also worth visiting. Near the natural bridge is a spring of sulphurous and salty water. The city of Iloilo is described elsewhere, page 64. Haciendas and sugar centrals. The island of Negros. This island is divided into two provinces, Occidental Negros and Oriental Negros. Occidental Negros is about 3 hours ride by boat from the city of Iloilo. It is the most important sugar producing district in the Philippines. About 75% of all the exported sugar comes from this province. Bacolod, Burgo, Calais, San Carlos, Vinalopó, and Lacaloto are the centers of the sugar industry. There are about 518 haciendas and about half a dozen sugar centrals in actual operation. The sugar centrals are well worth the visit and the traveler should not miss them. Other principal places of interest are Mount Canlaon, an active volcano, and the Mombuco Hot Springs, which is recommended by medical authorities. The trip to Oriental Negros has to be made direct from Manila, although there are boats from Cebu and Iloilo calling occasionally at Dumaguete, the capital. Silliman Institute. The principal points of interest in Dumaguete are the old watchtower on the plaza, built to guard against surprise by piratical mirror fleets, and the buildings of the Silliman Institute. This latter is a high-grade Protestant endowed school with preparatory, classical, and industrial departments. In it are enrolled some 500 students, representing a wide range of localities. It was founded in 1901 with a gift of Dr. Horace P. Silliman of New York, and is now maintained by the Presbyterian Board of Foreign Missions. The buildings are located on the beach, about 5 minutes walk from the central part of the town. Other places of interest. There are a few other places of some interest within the moderate distance of Dumaguete. Among these are some hot springs, about 6 kilometers, about 4 miles, west of the town. There is a fairly good horse trail to within a few minutes walk of them, and the scenery along the route is picturesque. Of more interest is the active volcano of Naguso, which lies 14 kilometers to the south. It is accessible by a good trail, and a horse can be ridden to the top of the crater. The descent into the latter is not difficult.
You're kidding me, right?
Cebu Province. The island of Cebu, which is coextensive with the province of that name, was discovered by Magellan on April 7, 1521. The town was then under the rule of Raja Humayun, a powerful chief who had 8 subordinate chieftains and a force of some 2,000 warriors under him. Magellan made friends with Humayun and succeeded in baptizing him, his wife, and as many as 800 of his men. Magellan also endeavored to bring the people of Mactan under Spanish influence. In this attempt, he was killed while engaged in battle with the people of Ofon who were then under Chief Lapu-Lapu. First Spanish settlement. 44 years after Magellan's time, Legazpi occupied the town of Cebu, which was then under the rule of Tucas. Here Legazpi founded the first Spanish settlement in the Philippines, which he called San Miguel. The town, which was planned in the shape of a triangle, was defended on the land side by a palisade and on the 2 sides facing the sea by artillery. The name of the town was later changed to the City of the Most Holy Name of Jesus in honor of an image of the child Jesus which a soldier had found in one of his houses. The establishment of the Spanish settlement in Cebu brought to this island the Portuguese who then disputed the ownership of the archipelago. In 1566, 1568, and 1570, Portuguese expeditionary forces were sent to Cebu to drive away the Spaniards. First in 1568 and again in 1570, the Portuguese blockaded Cebu, but in both cases the blockade resulted in a failure. The plains yield as many as 3 crops of corn a year: coconuts, sugar cane, abaca, peanuts, bananas, pineapples, camels, and tobacco are other products. Industries. The island is rich in minerals, of which gold and coal are the most important. Industries are well developed in Cebu. Good fishing banks found along the coast furnish the people with food for local use and for export. Hogs and goats are raised for local use. Poultry raising enables the people to export chickens and eggs to neighboring islands and even to Manila. cotton cloth, woven for local use, and cinema made from the fiber extracted from banana and pineapple leaves are exported. Much tuber, a native one, is collected in the coconut regions. The town of Cebu, however, existed as a prosperous native settlement before the discovery of the Philippines by Magellan. For a description of the places of interest in the city, see page 63. Bohol Province, the island southeast of Cebu, is noted for the two big rebellions against the Spaniards which occurred in 1622 and 1744, respectively. The leader of the revolt in 1622, which was really an armed protest against Jesuitical influence, was one by the name of Tamlet. The uprising rapidly spread throughout the entire island. Only the towns of Lobok and Baclayan remained peaceful. The rebels retreated to the summit of a rugged and lofty hill, difficult of access, and there fortified themselves. It took the government 6 months to suppress this rebellion. Rebellions. Another rebellion, no less formidable than the Tamlet uprising, broke out in 1744. It gained strength in 1750 under the leadership of de Vicoy, who for a long time was the whole soul of the movement. The rebellion affected almost the entire island and lasted for over 80 years. The government sent several expeditions to put it down, but without success. The rebels established a local government and lived as an independent people. This was, perhaps, the most successful revolt the Filipinos ever conducted from the viewpoint of duration of resistance. Attractions. Among the attractions are the mineral springs in Guindulman as well as those in San Juan, Candon, Nupo, Lubay, and Canbalagan, which are reputed to be efficacious for curing skin diseases. Edible birds' nests are gathered in the Cananawan Cave. Other caves are found in Baclayan, Guindulman, Jagna, and Sierra Bulones. Buri, Picog, and silicot hats are made in almost every town. The weaving of pina and cineme cloth is a specialty in Baclayan, Lobok, Jagna, and Duaro, and Sagaran weaving in Calaban, Inabinda, Baclayan, and Chipif. The commercial exploitation of the pearl and shell banks in the Bohol Seas has only recently been begun. The catching of the flying lemur and the tanning and preparation of its hide is a new occupation. Most of the towns are found along the coast so that a great portion of the inhabitants are engaged in coastwise and inter-island trade. Leyte Province, an island, one of the largest and most fertile regions in the Visayan group, is situated southwest of Samar and is separated from Samar by the San Juanico Strait, said to be one of the most beautiful waterways in the world. Hemp and copra are the most important products exported. Coal is found in the towns of Leyte, Ormoc, and Jero. Asphalt is being mined in Leyte for street paving purposes. Gold is found in Panchuyan and San Isidro. Sulfur in Mohagnao. Mineral springs in the crater of Mohagnao, Ormoc, San Isidro, Leyte, and Calaganda, where Mars first celebrated. Limasawa, a little island south of Leyte, has the unique distinction of being the place where Mars was first celebrated in the Philippines. Toward the end of March 1521, Magellan discovered this little island, which then appeared to be a prosperous community. It was here that Magellan met Raja Colombo and Chay Agu, who feasted the Spaniards and exchanged presents with them. The island of Leyte itself, then called Tanzania, was the first island of the Philippine archipelago to receive the name of Filipina. The island of Mindanao. This island is the second largest and potentially perhaps the richest of the archipelago. It is divided into 7 provinces: Zamboanga, Misamis, Lanao, Bukidnon, Cotabato, Davao, Agos, and Surigao. Origin of name. The term Mindanao or Maguindanao was originally given to the town now known as Cotabato and its immediate vicinity. See page 104. The word is derived from the root danao, which means inundation by a river, lake, or sea. The derivative Mindanao means inundated or that which is inundated. Maguindanao means that which has inundated. Islam. Islam was successfully introduced and firmly established in Mindanao by Sharif Muhammad Kapang Suwon. He is believed to have established himself in this region toward the end of the 15th century. He was also the founder of the Sultanate, so that today most of the inhabitants of Mindanao are Mohammedans. The Christian population came from the northern islands. They immigrated into Mindanao to exploit the rich sections of the islands. They have built their homes along the river basins and near the bays accessible to commerce. In many cases they hold the important municipal positions such as tax collectors and teachers. The Moras who inhabit the interior valleys have acknowledged the authority of their Christian brothers from the north and are living peacefully with them. The province of Zamboanga includes the whole of the western peninsula of the island. The central portion is covered with dense forests containing much valuable hardwood, timber. Abaca and copra are the principal products, though sugar, cacao, hemp, and rice are cultivated to some extent. Among the important forest products are gutta-percha for insulating cable wires and Olmasiga for varnish. Basilan Island nearby is covered with forests, and lumber mills are in operation. There are also plantations for the growing of rubber in this island. As a whole, the interior of the province is not at present very accessible, and most of the attractions center in the capital city of Zamboanga at the extreme end of the peninsula, which is described on page 65. Cotabato province is in the southwestern portion of Mindanao. The term Cotabato signifies a stone fort. Cotabato is the capital and is located near the mouth of the river called Cotabato also. The Cotabato river system, though not as swift as the Rhine River of Germany, serves the same purpose to Cotabato as the Rhine to Germany in the sense that it forms the chief means of communication and transportation for conveying finished products and raw materials from the different towns to the coast.
A lot.
On the valley of this river are some of the most fertile and productive regions of the whole Philippine archipelago, although due to the scarcity of population and of laborers very little cultivation has been done. On the eastern side of the valley are many extensive but shallow swamps, such as the Liguasan and Libancan. Large lakes as Balloon and Cebu, and many small ones abound. These natural basins yield an immense wealth for the country. On the marshes, mangroves and maple grow in abundance, while the lakes teem with the rarest and choicest fish. Attractions. Sulfur is abundant near and around Mount Apo, an extinct volcano, 9,610 feet high, being the highest peak in the archipelago. The difficult descent and the lack of transportation facilities make exploitation impossible at present. Mineral springs can be found near the town of Cotabato. The land is well adapted to the cultivation of coconut and rice. The mountains are densely wooded, with the exception of the small portion around Sarangani Bay where logging is being carried on. Most of the forested area is not yet exploited. The most important forest products, which are at present exported in great quantities, are the candle nut, Olmasiga, and gutta-percha. Fertility. Bukidnon province occupies the great fertile plateau of Mindanao immediately north of Cotabato. It contains immense areas of fertile soil unsurpassed for grazing and general farming. There are at least 300,000 hectares of open grass-covered land which would yield rich returns under the plough. The Buchanans themselves, learning to use modern agricultural implements, are taking advantage of their opportunities, this being clearly evidenced by the beautiful fields of corn surrounding their settlements, by the increased plantings of rice and camotes, and by the great increase in the exportation of hemp and coffee. The lower levels of Buchanan produce the best grade of hemp in northern Mindanao. Corn grows to a height of 13 feet on the Buchanan plateaus, the stalks supporting 2 ears. 2 crops may be grown annually. There are some Minabos and a few Mirrors in the province, but the greater part of the inhabitants are Buchanans who are timid, peaceable farmers. Lanao Province, between Buchanan and Zamboanga, is the province of Lanao, which includes the region centering about the large lake of Lanao. It consists for the most part of a plateau, altitude about 2,200 feet, with an invigorating climate and fine stretches of grazing land. The soil is in the main excellent and, at various altitudes, produces a very great variety of crops, including the usual staples, some fruits like the durian, unknown or rare in the northern islands, coffee, and a variety of wild rubber, for which plant, in its cultivated form, the district is well adapted. For many years this valuable country has been the scene of the lawlessness of the Lanao Mirrors, but after the institution of civil government among them, they have settled down and are living peacefully side by side with the immigrants from the northern islands. The same is true with the other provinces in the island of Mindanao. Much of the scenery in the Lanao province is said to be among the finest in the world, while the Mirrors are extremely interesting and manufacture many small articles of great artistic value, especially brasswork and weapons. Attractions. Among the attractions is Lake Lanao, believed to have been formed as a result of the subsidence of the land accompanying the eruption of the volcanoes in the surrounding country. There are 3 of these volcanoes which are still active. The climate, especially around Lake Lanao, is very cool. Dansal nearby is the favorite resort of the people in the lowlands of Mindanao and bears the promise of being the Borneo of the southern islands. Other attractions are the Maria Cristina Falls, about 191 feet high, and the Madeline Fall, about 40 feet in height, both of which are on the road to the lake. Davao Province occupies the southeastern part of Mindanao. Though perhaps less fertile for some crops than the neighboring province of Cotabato, Davao comprises the finest hempland in the archipelago, and there is a considerable colony of Japanese, American, and Filipino planters. More than half of the population, however, are pagans, the Mande Isles and Bugabos predominating in number. These 2 pagan tribes have the best primitive civilization among all the non-Christian peoples of the archipelago. Their women weave excellent cloth which is dyed in curious and ornamental patterns, and the men make daggers, spears, and other articles of metal. The town of Davao is the capital and principal port. It is well laid out and has a number of interesting monuments. Agazan Province, north of Davao, occupies the whole northern valley of Agaz. This oil is of the greatest fertility, holding constant moisture. The rainfall is very evenly distributed throughout the year, and there has been no drought or destructive typhoon recorded. Abaca and coconuts thrive well in this region. A splendid rice crop is produced without irrigation. Bananas, papayas, and other tropical fruits are grown in great abundance. The famous Mindanao papaya attaining its perfection in the region about Buchan. The numerous lakes and the extensive area of swampy land are sources of incalculable wealth. Choicest fish abound in the lakes, while meat from which tuber and alcohol are obtained, and mangroves for fuel and tanning purposes grow wild in the fenlands. Gold deposits exist in abundance. Most of these deposits are found in the mountains on the eastern side of the valley. The location of these mines is favorable, being near rivers. There are several gold mining claims at present under operation.
And a Ukrainian
Uchon, the
fascist too.
capital and most important town of the province, is near the mouth of the navigable Aberzen River. This river port serves the same purpose for the settlements built along Aberzen River and its tributaries
I might as well just
as
walk
the
out
town
there and
of
stand in front of
Cotabato to the well-scattered towns of the Cotabato Valley. Surigao province, north of Aberzen, occupies the whole northeastern part of the island of Mindanao. Aberca, copra, and corn are the most important
alright.
agricultural products.
What did I do?
There
to
is much
repel that?
fine timber in the forests, the best obtainable equaling iron and concrete
that
in
worked.
durability. Gold is at present mined in some parts of the province. The Sulu archipelago. The Sulu province includes all of the islands of the Sulu archipelago, a region which is often visited
It's
by
like overkill.
earthquakes.
Can we
The
get some-
Sulu Sea being the seismic center. The climate of this region is warm and moist, being near the equator. Fishing is the most important industry. Jolo is the center for most of the pearling fleet. Satanki, Omapui,
What is that?
Tuanzao,
That was like, over a $250,000
Largia,
damage.
and Sayasi are
Hot
other
spot.
important fishing centers.
Oh, yeah.
The sea turtle, fish of all kinds, and the trupang are caught. Beautiful trays and combs and other articles are made from the back of the sea turtle, and the fish and trupang are cured and exported. The Sulu
Nice.
archipelago, especially Jolo,
Oh,
the
holy
capital
feet.
and principal port, trades with Zamboanga, Borneo, and Singapore. Chinese merchants traded with Sulu long before the arrival of Legazpi in the Philippines. When Manila and Cebu were yet small settlements, Jolo was already a city, the most important in the Philippines. Introduction of Mohammedanism. Mohammedanism was introduced and firmly established in the archipelago by three men Meghdum, Raja Beginda, and Abu Bakr. Meghdum was a noted Arabian scholar who, after introducing Mohammedanism into Malacca, visited almost every island of the Sulu archipelago toward the end of the 14th century and made numerous converts, especially in Bekangsla and Tapuro. Raja Beginda, soon after the arrival of Meghdum, came by way of Zamboanga and Basilan. He was of princely rank and is believed to have come accompanied by ministers of state. He settled in Bekangsla and became the supreme ruler of Sulu. Abu Bakr, who seemed to have been quite a learned man,
Going to
arrived
work.
in Bekangsla about the middle
I
of
thought
the
this
15th
was work.
century. Here, he
Lord.
lived with Raja Beginda, teaching the people the Mohammedan religion. He later married
Oh, man, I
Faizullah,
love it.
the daughter of Raja
Yeah.
Beginda,
I mean-
and succeeded
but
his
some days it's
father-in-law
just
as
rough,
Sultan.
you know.
The reign of Abu
Those
Bakr,
guys are so
1450
far.
to 1480, was noteworthy not only because of the firm establishment of Mohammedanism, but also
One
because of the
October.
governmental reforms then effected.
Take out my whole
Abu Bakr
day.
organized the government of Sulu,
One love.
dividing it into 5 main administrative districts, each under a panglima. He promulgated a new code of laws which became the guide for all officials of the state. During his reign, Sulu's power was felt not only in Mindanao and the Visayas, but even in Luzon. The administration of Governor General Sand, 1575 AD, was the beginning of a continuous state of warfare between Spain and Sulu which lasted to within 2 decades before the end of the Spanish rule. Sand wanted to reduce Sulu to a subject state, impose tribute on its people, secure for the Spaniards the trade of the archipelago, and convert the inhabitants to Catholicism. To attain these ends, he sent Captain Rodriguez de Figueroa to Sulu with a large army. This expedition, however, accomplished nothing beyond the arousing of the Zulus to hostility and the inception of numerous mirror raids on the Visayas and Luzon. The Sultan and his present position. The whole archipelago is still under the nominal sway of the Sultan of Sulu, who lives in the island of Jolo and enjoys pensions from the Philippine government and the British North Borneo Company. All of the Muras in Mindanao and in Sulu have long ago recognized the authority of the central Philippine government in Manila, and the hostility which has existed between the Muras and the inhabitants of the northern islands during Spanish rule has long passed away. The policy of attraction inaugurated by the Philippine government has succeeded wonderfully. Disturbances among the Muras are now very few and far between. They have their own senator in the Philippine Senate and they have their own representatives in the House. Results of the policy of attraction. Considering the past history of these southern islands, it is almost incredible that such results have become possible. Many of the non-Christians in the interior of Mindanao Sulu have even changed their manner of dressing and have adopted the garb of the Christians, whom they are endeavoring to imitate as much as possible, mingling with them in their work, and assisting in maintaining law and order. The Muras themselves have changed a great deal. Vigilimentado, running amok, is practically a thing of the past. They show greater religious tolerance and a high sense of responsibility. They cooperate in every way possible with the Christians and the government authorities in the maintenance of a government of law and order, and do everything they can to identify themselves with the inhabitants of the north. For this reason, more beneficial and lasting changes have been accomplished in the last 5 years, in moral, social, and political respects, as well as in the material development of the people, than had been accomplished for several centuries past. This progress is principally due to the efforts of the Philippine legislature, which furnished the Department of Mindanao and Sulu with large annual appropriations and thus made the policy of attraction a success. The town of Jolo. The town of Jolo is the political and commercial center of the archipelago and is reached from Manila direct. The trip through island-studded Sulu Sea is one of great scenic beauty. Jolo consists of a picturesque little walled city and a considerable town outside. The population is cosmopolitan. The town is more Malayan, more Arabic, and more Oriental than Zamboanga. Thus it has many attractions for the traveler. The part within the walls has excellent streets and walks and is adorned with parks, gardens, and fountains. One of the most curious sights is furnished by the half-dame deer, which run at large about the streets. The point of greatest interest in the outer town is the Chinese pier, a rickety affair, on which most of the merchants of that nationality have their shops. Both has a measure of safety and for convenience in handling cargoes. These shops are the best places to go to for Muro curios. Attractions. The town as a whole is an excellent place in which to see the daily life and occupations of the Mura people in their most characteristic forms. The fact that it is the chief center of the pearl fisheries of the islands puts the pearling boats when in port, the market where the pearls and shell are sold, and the places of manufacture and sale of the shell ornaments, among the principal sites. Leading from the town to the barracks at Asturias is a fine coconut avenue known as Areola's Walk. It is named after its builder, who was the Spanish military governor of the place in the early years of the last century. The language for the tourist. Spanish and English are the languages universally used in the archipelago. As a general rule, however, an English-speaking tourist can travel in the different places described in this book without knowledge of any except his mother tongue. Almost all of the officials and employees of the government speak English, and, if there is no one else, a school child can generally be found to do the interpreting. English-speaking Filipinos. Statistics show that there are at present more Filipinos who can read, write, and speak the English language than those who can read, write, and speak the Spanish language. The last census, 1918, gives the following figures. Males, females. Filipinos of 10 years of age or over who can 563,495, 322,359 read English. Those who can read Spanish, 587,588, 292,223. Those who can both read and write English, 540,552, 313,993. Those who can both read and write Spanish, 454,052, 210,270. As a matter of fact, the English language serves at the present time as a common medium of communication among the inhabitants of the Philippines who still speak their own dialects. Because of the work of public schools during the last quarter of a century, it is the language which is most widely spoken in the whole archipelago. Business between the central government and the provinces and municipalities is transacted in English. The proceedings of the Philippine legislature, although still in Spanish, are translated into English. In commercial transactions, the English language prevails throughout the islands. It will not be very long before the language will be the official language even in the court and the language which is more generally used in private life. The present leaders of the people have a working knowledge of the language and many can read and write it fairly. The younger generation has a thorough knowledge of English and speaks and writes it in most cases. The spread of the language as the common language of the inhabitants is assured, not only because it is the basis of instruction in the public schools and in the universities, but also because it is essential to the best interest and political future of the people. X. Agricultural products, forest resources, minerals, and other industries. The Philippines are eminently an agricultural country. Agriculture is the principal source of the island's wealth, and the bulk of the exports consists mostly of agricultural products. Hectares under cultivation. An estimate of the number of hectares under cultivation during the year 1922 shows the following. Hectares devoted to rice, 1,661,430 hectares devoted to abaca, 494,990 hectares devoted to sugarcane, 240,820 hectares devoted to coconuts, 422,684 hectares devoted to corn, 549,960 hectares devoted to tobacco, 59,870 hectares devoted to Maggi, 27,670 hectares devoted to cacao, 1,155 hectares devoted to coffee, 882 dash total, 3,459,461. This is only about 10% of the total area of the islands. Extensive areas of agricultural lands which remain undeveloped are the Agasan Valley in eastern Mindanao, the Cotabato Valley in central Mindanao, sections of the plains of central Luzon and of the Tubican Valley, the central plain of Panay and the meadowlands of Palawan, Samar and Mindanao. There are also the coastal plains of Zamboanga, Mindanao, Leyte, and Negros. The average area of farms in the islands according to the census of 1918 is 2.33 hectares as against 3.47 hectares in 1903. Farms owned by Filipinos. Out of the 1,955,276 farms in the islands today, 1,946,580 or 96% are owned by Filipinos, 2,678 by Americans, 949 by Europeans. 1,612 by Asiatics, and 3,457 by other nationalities. Exports. The principal crops produced by the islands are rice, abaca, manila hen, coconut, sugar, and tobacco. All of these except rice are articles of export. The following table shows the respective values of these exports. Plus, value article plus 1921, 1922 plus abaca, manila hen. P25, 969, 385, P39, 081, 829 coconut oil. 32,103,036, 31,468,971 copra, 26,146,913, 28,206,146 sugar, 51,037,454, 51,165,110 tobacco products, 16,564,434, 17,340,236 Maggi, 1,848,794, 2,973,203 cordage, 918,544, 1,099,375 fruits and nuts, 239,060, 532,632 rubber, crude, 25,700 I-line oil, 57,554, 60,606 plus. Rice is almost exclusively the staple foodstuff of the people, but corn in some provinces constitutes an important part of the daily diet. Although the production of rice has been increasing steadily since 1910, the Philippines has had to import rice from other countries, especially Indochina, for a part of its supply. The government is now exerting every effort towards solving the problem. Immense sums are being appropriated for the construction of irrigation systems so indispensable in the successful growing of rice. Fibers. Abaca, manila hen. The Philippines is the only source in the world for abaca, commercially known as manila hen. There are two other commercial fibers, however, that grow in the islands. These are sisal and mabu. Although other kind of fibers grow in other countries, especially in Mexico, the world must always use a certain amount of the manila hemp for binder twine and for high-grade ropes. Hemp exports, 1913 to 1922. Plus to all countries, to the United States plus year ended, quantity, value, average vertical bar, percentage vertical bar, quantity, value vertical bar, percentage December 31, vertical bar value per vertical bar of total, 1000, export, hen, kilos, plus, kilos, pesos, kilos, pesos. 1913, 119,821, 435 vertical bar, 42,242, 168 vertical bar, 352.54. 44 vertical bar, 47, 144, 252 vertical bar, 19, 574, 434 vertical bar, 46, 1914, 116, 386, 575 vertical bar, 38, 389, 630 vertical bar, 329.85, 139 vertical bar 50, 140, 193 vertical bar 19, 238, 752 vertical bar 50, 1915, 142, 010, 431 vertical bar 42, 678, 200 vertical bar 300.53, 40 vertical bar 69, 251, 180 vertical bar 22, 702, 566 vertical bar 53, 1916, 137, 326, 092 vertical bar 53, 384, 593 vertical bar 388.70, 38 vertical bar 66, 344, 154 vertical bar 27, 279, 018 vertical bar 51, 1917, 169, 435, 204 vertical bar 98, 615, 559 vertical bar 552.51, 49 vertical bar 95, 580, 320, 59, 291, 095 vertical bar 63, 1918, 169, 260, 377 vertical bar. Coconut stock. In the production of coconut, the Philippines is the third most important source in the world. It is excelled only by the Dutch East Indies and the Federated Malay States. It is estimated that there are some 84,536,710 trees in the islands, which in 1922 produced 366,808,888 kilos of cocorax, valued at P44,057,045. The traveler in Philippine waters always notices along the coast the extensive groves of coconut palms which extend miles and miles into the hinterland as far as the eye can reach. Uses of the coconut. In the Philippines, the coconut tree serves many ends. The meat is eaten as a delicacy. The leaves supply roofing for houses. The shell of the nut is used for dishes, cups, and spoons. The oil for soap and illumination. In some sections, the same oil is used as a frying fat for cooking purposes. The fiber from the husk is used for ropes and mats. The husk itself is used for fuel. The water inside the nut is an ever-ready delicious drink. Oleomargarine comes from coconut oil fat, an industry which has developed considerably in Denmark and Germany and also in the United States. Copra, or coprax, other byproducts. Copra, or coprax as it is sometimes called, is the dried meat of the ripe coconut. It is obtained by breaking the nut into halves and drying them in the sun or artificially in kilns until the nut meat is separated from the shell. The exportation of coconut oil from the Philippines since 1913 is shown in the following table. Coconut oil exported 1913 to 1922. To all countries, to the United States Year ended. Quantity, value, average vertical bar, percentage vertical bar, quantity, value vertical.
It's all here, man. They keeping track. You know they is.
Copper meal. Another byproduct of the coconut oil is known
Lame.
as copra meal. It is the meal remaining after most of the oil has been expressed. This is used as cattle feed in Germany and Denmark. So, recently, certain corporations in the Philippines have gone so far as to use their oil to manufacture many of the very products which were formerly made only in the United States and Europe. Soap was the first product to be manufactured locally. There are two companies now, however, which manufacture large substitutes under their own trade names. There is an attempt also to manufacture coconut butter for sale in the islands. Desiccated coconut. The manufacture of desiccated coconut is an infant industry in the Philippine Islands. The demand for this in Europe and particularly in the United States is very large and is mostly filled by Ceylon or by factories in the United States which import the whole nuts from the West Indies. Last year, however, the desiccated coconut from the Philippines gained a strong foothold in the United States, and it is expected that Ceylon will be ousted from this field in the near future due to the free trade relations between the United States and the Philippines. On desiccated coconut imported into the United States from foreign countries, a duty of 3.5% is levied. At present, there are 6 factories of desiccated coconut in the islands. Coir. Another opportunity for development lies in the use of coir, the tough fiber of the husk surrounding the nut. In other countries, this is worked up into door mats, rope, twine, etc., but in the Philippines the husks are usually burned as fuel except in a few instances where they are utilized for domestic purposes. It is also possible that someday other minor parts of the palm may be used. At present the midribs of the palm leaflets are used in making brooms and baskets, but the demand for exports is still small. The exportation of copra from 1913 to 1922 is as follows. To all countries, to the United States Year ended. Quantity, value, average vertical bar, percentage vertical bar, quantity, value vertical bar, percentage December 31, vertical bar value per vertical bar of total. Until the production of copra in the Philippines is much higher than at present, it will be impossible to keep all the expellers and presses now installed working at full capacity. It is therefore proposed to start a campaign for the planting of quick-growing crops of oil-bearing seeds. Among the plants that were most popular at first was the tangan or castor bean. This grows very rapidly and yields a very high percentage of castor oil, which was sold at high prices during the war as a lubricant for aeroplanes and other delicate machinery. At the present writing, however, it is generally thought that the mills will do better if they can turn to the production of peanut oil, using imported peanuts to begin with and enlarging the return as the domestic yield increases. Cane sugar ranks first among the island's agricultural exports. As early as 1795, the United States have been importing sugar from the Philippine Islands. For that year, 132 long tons were imported. Up to the middle of the 19th century, however, the production of sugarcane in the Philippines was confined largely to the provinces of Luzon near Manila. But shortly after the Crimean War, the demand for sugar in Europe increased, and interest in the industry was greatly stimulated in the islands. This resulted in the extension of the industry into the Visayan Islands, Occidental Negros becoming the largest cane-producing section of the archipelago, and so continues until the present day. As late as 1914, most of the sugar produced in the islands was muscovado, It was not until the establishment of modern sugar centrals that centrifugal sugar was produced. The production of sugar became so stimulated as a result, and in 1922, as many as 455,404,427 kilos were produced. There are now 28 sugar centrals in the islands as against one in 1910, and several are in process of construction. The following table shows the growth of the sugar industry from 1913 to 1922. Year, area under production, total value vertical bar cultivation of sugar, products acres, short tons. 1913, 435,188, 345,080, $12,849,000. 1914, 418,676, 408,343, 14,314,000. 427,710, 421,196, 16,606,1916, 444,189, 412,278, 17,068,1917, 459,436, 425,270, 19,352,519, 507,818, 474,750, 20,579,519, 494,692, 453,350, 37,231,419.20, 487,783, 466,917, 79,648,619.21, 596,363, 589,443, 48,189,519.22, 595,066, 533,194, 29,974,125 . The quantity and value of the exportation of this product is shown below. To all countries, to the United States Year ended. Quantity, value, average vertical bar, percentage vertical bar, quantity, value vertical bar, percentage December 31, vertical bar value per vertical bar of total, 1000, export, sugar, kilos, export kilos, pesos, kilos, 1913 vertical bar 157,333,707 vertical bar 14,065,707. Tobacco. The Manila cigar. The Manila cigar is just as well known to the world as the Manila Head. It is among the few manufacturing enterprises that have developed factory conditions in the islands. History. For generations, the Spaniards conducted the tobacco business in the Philippines on the basis of government monopoly. The monopoly came to an end in 1882 when the Filipino workers defied both the Spanish government and was directing the work in the factories because of the harsh and cruel treatment they were getting. Thereafter, for many years, the tobacco business suffered extreme depression, and it was not until American occupation that the industry received anything of a stimulus. The Manila cigar, however, was then at a disadvantage in comparison with cigars from other countries, because the latter were allowed a discount from the tariff, while the Manilas were required to pay the full customs duty. With the establishment of free trade, however, between the islands and the United States, the Manila cigar has been able to compete with other cigars in the United States, by far the greatest market therefore. This fact accounts for the unprecedented steady increase of the amount of cigars exported from the islands. In 1904, the exports amounted to 104,753,000 cigars, valued at $2,011,790. In 1919, the exports had risen to 392,339,000 worth P18,157,707. The tobacco region. Although tobacco is grown in many parts of the islands, all that which is exported comes from the provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, and Nueva Vizcaya, in northern Luzon. All grown elsewhere is consumed locally, also exported to European and other countries. The tobacco growing districts in these three provinces lie in the valley of the Cagayan River, a stream which is about 160 miles long. The valley is from 2 to 14 miles wide. During the rainy season, which is between the time that one crop is harvested and the next one planted, the Cagayan River rises to a height of 40 feet, inundating all of the lowlands. This overflow never fails, and it always leaves on the valley a deposit of rich soil, renewing the fertility of the entire valley and making the use of fertilizers unnecessary. On one field in Cagayan Valley, crops have been produced without interruption and without fertilizer for 135 years. Government control and guarantee. No cigar in the world today is produced under such carefully prepared and rigidly enforced regulations as the Manila cigar. The Philippine government has assumed control of the industry, has established invariable standards of excellence, and has guaranteed the production under its own official stamp. If you will examine the next box of Manila cigars you see, you will find that it bears a label stating that its contents are guaranteed by the Philippine government. One of the regulations enforced provides that, under certain limitations, cigars which reach the American dealer in a damaged condition may be returned to the Philippines at the expense of the Philippine government. Another regulation is to the following effect. To be up to the standard established by the government, Philippine cigars are required to be made from good, clean, selected tobacco, properly cured and seasoned, exclusively the product of the provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, and Nueva Vizcaya, well made with suitable spiral wrapper and with long filler from which must have been removed all stems dust. Scrap or sunburned tobacco, cigars to be properly assorted and packed in clean receptacles of wood not before use, manufactured from native wood known as callanders or from imported cedar. No cigars made between sunset and sunrise may be graded as standard. The cigar factories. The factories in which the Manila cigars are made are worth visiting. They are counted among the showplaces of the city. Visitors are always welcome and given an opportunity to follow the entire process of manufacture from the time the bales of tobacco reach the warehouses until the finished cigars are packed in airtight cases for shipment to all parts of the world. In these factories, every precaution is taken to guard against dirt and disease. No one is employed except after a searching physical examination, and thereafter all the employees are regularly examined twice a month. Every now and then, government inspectors visit the factories, and these have a right to condemn a lot of cigars which they do not think is up to the standard. No scraps of any kind are used in the making of Manila cigars. There are no broken leaves and no dust. There is nothing in a cigar but long, clean leaves of tobacco. The Manila cigar is the mildest made. It is the most pleasant and satisfying smoke that can be had at any price. Cigars exported 1913 to 1922. Plus to all countries, to the United States plus. Vertical bar average, vertical bar percent, vertical bar number, value, average, vertical bar value, vertical bar of total plus value year, number, value, vertical bar per vertical bar exports, vertical bar thousand, vertical bar, cigars, cent, pesos, cent, thousand plus, pesos. 1913, 191,762,442 vertical bar 6,024, 468 vertical bar 31.42, 6.31. 71,513, 141 vertical bar 37.29 vertical bar 3,285, 776 vertical bar 54.54, 45.95 1914, 154, 753, 363 vertical bar 4,630, 318 vertical bar 29.92, 4.75, 56, 205, 050 vertical bar 36.30. Secondary food products. Corn leads in importance among the secondary food products. In 1918 there were 1,035,067 acres grown to corn, producing 11,269,258 bushels valued at $10,686,061. The other food crops worth mentioning under this heading are sweet potatoes, cassava, sesame, mangoes, peanuts, bananas, mangoes, citrus, lanzones, and a great number of tropical fruits and vegetables. Including the edible alga and fungi, there are more than 100 species of plants in the Philippines, either wild or cultivated, that find a place in the dietary system of the people. So rich is the country in food-producing plants. Prospective agricultural industries. The plants from which the various other tropical staple products in the world's markets are derived, such as rubber, coffee, tea, cacao, pepper, cinchona, and cassava are all known to thrive well in the Philippines, although the growing of those enumerated is yet of comparatively little importance. Rubber has the greatest future of these. The great island of Mindanao, which is outside the typhoon zone, has been found to be suitable to the growing of rubber. All the large rubber plantations of the Philippines are located on Mindanao or the adjacent island of Basilan. During the early years of American occupation, when the acreage planted to rubber in other countries increased by leaps and bounds, the erroneous impression somehow gained ground that the Philippines were unsuited to rubber. And it is not very many years ago that a planter was able to demonstrate beyond doubt that rubber could be grown in the island successfully. The company he heads now has some 80,000 rubber trees planted. The success of its operations has induced others to plant rubber, and while the Philippine output of rubber is still insignificant, it may be said that the rubber industry has come to stay. Irrigation. Irrigation has been practiced in the Philippines in some form for centuries. For, in general, it may be said that the certainty of a rice harvest depends upon irrigation to supplement the natural rainfall. When the rainfall is copious and well distributed during the rice growing season, there is little demand for artificial irrigation, but in the event of a drought or irregular rainfall, irrigation has to be used to ensure a normal rice crop. With irrigation, it is also possible to grow 2 crops of rice a year, whereas without it the planting of one is often hazardous. Prior to 1908, very little attention was given to the development of irrigation systems, so that the only irrigation works constructed were by private and communal enterprise. These old systems are found in different parts of the islands, the most notable being the extensive systems with permanent dams, tunnels, and ditches constructed by the friars, and the remarkable side hill terraces built by the mountain people in the sub-province of Ifugao. Studies of irrigation possibilities have now advanced sufficiently to warrant the Bureau of Public Works recommending a 10-year program for the construction of 40 irrigation systems in 20 of the principal rice-producing provinces to water an area of approximately 750,000 acres. It is estimated that these 40 systems will cost about $25 million. With these systems completed and operating, there will be no further need of importing rice from other countries. Rural Credit. Rural Credit Associations. The Rural Credit Law has removed the restriction in the corporation law requiring P200,000 paid-in capital before a bank may be started. Under the new law, associations may incorporate with a paid-in capital as low as P100 or as high as P10,000. The government does not furnish any financial help except that the organizing staff is paid and maintained by it. To give security to small investors, the bonded municipal treasurer acts as treasurer ex officio of the association, and government auditors audit its books. The purpose of the Rural Credit Law is to encourage small farmers to cooperate and furnish their own capital. Only one association may be incorporated in a municipality to avoid rivalry and factions. On October 19, 1916, the first Rural Credit Association was incorporated, and after practically 6 years, there are now 544 incorporated associations with a paid-in capital of P807,178. Number of Rural Credit Associations and average number of stockholders, amount of capital stock paid up, and loans made in 1923 by provinces and sub-provinces. Province and number of capital loans sub-province associations stockholders paid up. Pesos. Accra 11,908, 5,766, 17,749.72, Agars 3,222, 4,185, 4,595.00, Albay 14, 1,916, 15,188, 52,703.05, Antique 12, 2,095, 35,596, 95,237.75, Bhutan 8, 1,425, 20,972, 52,535.85, Batangas 15, 2,180, 31,428, 112,678, 28.59, Bohol 34, 7,208, 6,175, 138,243.37, Bulacan 22, 2,195, 30,824, 75,292.80, Cagayan 14, 1,355, 14,404, 41,618.50, Camarines Norte 4, 302, 3,903.00, Camarines Sur 22,311, 27,006. Forest resources. Area. The forests of the Philippines cover about 18,706,093 hectares or 72,224 square miles, which is about 63.1% of the total area of the archipelago. Of these, number 16,609,108 hectares or 64,127 square miles, 88.6% of the entire forest area are of a commercial character. In addition, there are estimated to be about 2,096,985 hectares or 8,096 square miles of second growth forests which will yield large quantities of fine wood and small-sized timber. It is said that taken together, the virgin and second growth forests in the islands cover an area about equal to the area of the state of Nebraska. Ownership. More than 99% of the timber belongs to the Philippine government and is under the administrative control of the Bureau of Forestry. Less than 1% is held under title of private ownership. Volume of timber resource. The volume of this timber resource of the Philippines is 192 billion board feet or 777 million cubic meters. Most of the timber belong to the Tetracharp family. The largest reach about 200 feet in height and some specimens have a diameter of 7 feet. The well-known woods of this family are Tangile, Red Log, Almond, Apidong, Fir, and Eucalypt. These woods have found favorable acceptance in the markets of China and the United States. Next to the Tetracharp family is the Molave family. Among the woods of this family are Aranda, Dungon, and Molave. There are about 1,036,000 hectares of this timber with a total volume of 7,680,000,000 board feet. These woods are appropriate for railway ties and for building construction purposes. Timber output and export. The timber output of the islands was 184,628 cubic meters in 1911, 297,094 cubic meters in 1914, 385,150 cubic meters in 1918 and 630,973 in 1922. It is said that this output can be trebled, even quadrupled, without exhausting the supply for several hundred years. The export of timber in 1914 was 27,070 cubic meters valued at P681,272. For 1916, 40,164 cubic meters worth P1,030,276. For 1919, 15,704 cubic meters worth P791,823, and for 1922, 43,008 cubic meters worth P1,656,812. The lumber industry in the islands offers many advantages. The government charges are nominal, ranging from P2.00 to P10.00 per 1000 board feet according to class. Logging and sawmill equipment and machinery enter free of duty if imported from the United States and only 15% duty if bought from other countries. For fuel, sawmill waste can be utilized. Water power is available from streams in a number of places. Obtaining a tract of timber. The public forests of the Philippines are not sold, but are developed under a license system. Small operators usually work under ordinary yearly licenses for definite small areas. Exclusive licenses, or concessions as they are popularly called, are generally in the form of a 20-year exclusive license to cut and extract timber and other forest products from a specified tract. The land itself is in no way affected by such a license. Only the timber and minor forest products are included. Sawmills. At present there are about 50 sawmills of all sizes and descriptions operating in the islands. About 12 of these can be compared to the average modern sawmills in the United States. The largest sawmills are located on timber concessions, while the others are operated under short-term licenses. The total cut of the sawmills of the Philippine Islands is about 100 to 130 million board feet per year. Minor forest products. This term includes all products of the forest except timber or lumber. Many of the minor forest products of the Philippines are at present almost unknown in the world's markets and are largely confined to local use. The most important are nipa, sugar, and alcohol, rattan, used in making furniture, Manila copal or almasiga, used in making high-grade varnish, lambang, a nut producing high-grade oil for varnish, dyewoods and barks, gutta-percha and rubber, paper pulp, fibers suitable for making baskets, hats, mats, ropes, etc., soap, barks, pili nuts, declared by many as superior even to almonds, wax, and different kinds of medicinal plants. Minerals. The islands are rich in mineral products, and it should not be long before the working of minerals should constitute one of its basic industries. The most important minerals are gold, silver, lead, zinc, copper, iron, coal, petroleum, sulfur, asphalt, asbestos, manganese, guano, mineral waters, gas, cement, and many others of minor importance. Gold. There are a number of successful gold mines in the islands today. One of them is the Colorado mine in Masbate, which produces P2,000 worth of gold a day at a cost of P1,000. Other successful mines are those of Paracale, Ambos Camarines, Baguio, Mountain Province, and Leroy, Masbate. There are large areas of placer ground in Nueva Ecija, Mindanao, and Misamis. According to an estimate of the Bureau of Science, there are in all 800 to 1,000 square kilometers of placer grounds in the Philippines still undeveloped. The production of gold in 1916 was 2,265,789 fine grams, worth P3,011,755. In 1918 the production was 1,937,941 fine grams valued P2,575,970. Silver. Silver is found alloyed with the gold in all of the gold deposits in the ratio of 1 to 4. No attempt has as yet been made to develop the silver mines of the islands. There is no doubt, however, that the silver deposits can be advantageously developed on a commercial basis because the supply of silver in the world is declining and because the neighboring countries, such as China and Japan, are on the silver standard basis. Iron. Valuable deposits of high-grade iron ores are found in the eastern and southeastern Cordilleras of Luzon. extensive deposits are available in Bulacan, Rise, Camarines, and Surigao. The Surigao field has a total area of 100 square kilometers with an average depth of 3 meters. The total estimated iron ore deposit is about 500 million tons. This region is accessible from the coast. The Bulacan deposit contains approximately 1,200,000 tons of ore. No survey has been made of other fields, but it is estimated that at least another 500 million tons of ore are dormant in them. If properly developed, these deposits would yield sufficient ore to meet the local needs for iron and steel products, perhaps with a surplus for exportation. As a result of the economic development of the country, the importation of iron and steel and their manufacturers has shown an annual tendency to increase, as may be seen from the following figures. Importation of iron and steel and manufacturers thereof. Year 1910 11,118,9.
Alright, I gotta go do some other creative work. So I'm gonna have to be forced to depart on the relaxation lounge. It's out of here. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. I'm gonna try to get better. You know I will. I keep trying. Alright. Take care.